How about 5 rankings discrepancies right now on Fantasy Football Today in 5? We got Heath Cummings here. I'm Adam Azer, and we're talking about some differences in the rankings where Dave and Jamie have a similar thought on a player, and Heath is not close. So, Devon Achane, they have him as RB10. You have Achane as RB20. You know what? I'm going to lump numbers 1 and 2 together here because you're the high guy on Javonte Williams and the low guy on Achane. So you have Achane at RB20. You have Javonte at RB14, and Dave and Jamie have him 24th or lower. So why is Javonte well ahead of Achane?
Yeah, I feel like there is a much larger chance that Javonte is going to be a lead/feature back than Achane. Now, these are both going to be committees, but just the way the Dolphins used Achane in competitive games and then in the playoffs last year leads me to believe that they see him as kind of a secondary guy, an airback that's going to maybe touch the ball 10 to 15 times a game unless the game gets out of hand. I do believe that we give Javonte Williams a bit of a free pass for last year. The Broncos didn't bring in a free agent running back. And so I would expect that Williams in his second year after the ACL bounces back to the player that we saw before.
Yeah, and how do you feel about Mostert? What round would you start taking Raheem Mostert?
I have Mostert very close to Achane. So he's like Achane's ahead because he's younger. But I would look for Mostert as soon as a round after where I would take Achane, but I wouldn't take Achane until round 4. So 5-6 for Mostert.
Okay. Rashee Rice. You are the high guy on Rashee Rice. Dave and Jamie have him 21st. You have him 9th. I don't know how far Dave and Jamie moved him down after the Marquise Brown signing, how much of a part that plays in it, but you still have Rashee Rice as wide receiver 9.
And I moved him down 0 because of the Marquise Brown signing. I'm not sure there is a wide receiver they could have signed who better complements Rashee Rice without taking any of his targets. I think Brown will do a much better job than MVS did of opening up this offense and preventing teams from taking away the underneath routes. And I look at the full season statistics more than the second half statistics, but if I'm going to make an exception to that rule, it's going to be for a rookie wide receiver because we've seen so many of them pop in the second half of their rookie years, and then that carries over to the next season. And you look at the last 10 games, including the playoffs for Rashee Rice, and he was averaging over 9 targets per game. He was the number 1 option in this offense. I think the Chiefs limit Travis Kelce just a little bit in the first half of the year like they did in the second half of 2023. Rice is the clear number 1 for Patrick Mahomes and a top 12 wide receiver.
Yeah. And the second half is he just started playing more. They just kept limiting him in the first half and the snap counts went up and bam. All right. What's next here in our rankings discrepancies? We've got DeVonta Smith. You're still the high guy in him as well. You have DeVonta Smith as wide receiver 12 and Dave and Jamie have him 24th.
Yeah, I think that with both DeVonta Smith and Dallas Goedert, or maybe even with Jalen Hurts, I just think the Eagles made some really bad choices in terms of who they hired at coordinator last year. And I would expect for that offense to rebound. I think that we'll see a rebound for Smith. We were drafting him basically right around wide receiver 12, wide receiver 13 last year. I'm in the same place this year.
Easy enough. Olave, you're the low guy. Yeah. Oh, we talked extensively about me taking him in the second round, the 3rd pick of round 2, and I just hated that pick. You have him 23rd at wide receiver. Dave and Jamie have him in the top 10, 9th for Dave, 10th for Jamie.
I don't have any confidence that this is going to be a high volume pass offense or that Derek Carr is going to do a good job of getting good production out of Chris Olave. He's basically been a low end number 2 wide receiver. And until there's an upgrade either in the coaching staff or in the quarterback, I just expect him to remain a low end number 2 wide receiver.
All right. That's FFT in 4. Nice work, Heath Cummings. And we'll talk to you tomorrow on Fantasy Football Today and Fantasy Football Today in 5. Also, check out FFT Dynasty Tuesdays and Fridays, hosted by Heath Cummings. You can follow that podcast anywhere you listen to this one. See ya.